Hi guys, welcome back. This is a very special video. You can kind of see my shirt is my Tomb of the Mutilated long sleeve. You might notice I'm holding a CD. It is Tomb of the Mutilated. That's right. It is September 22nd. It is the birthday of Tomb of the Mutilated, and I know some people might go, "Oh, you're just wishing the album happy birthday." This album means a lot to me, and I want to share my experience with it. When I was first getting into death metal and extreme music, one of the first bands I ever heard about was Cannibal Corpse, and I didn't know much about them. Now I had heard Death with their song Zombie Ritual, but I don't consider that my um like my introduction to death metal because I didn't really like it. It didn't catch my attention like Metallica did at the time. But I remember, at this time I was getting into Cannibal Corpse, and so I finally, I listened to the song Hammer Smash Face. It was just the that part that just sold me, and I would listen to that part so much that during the pandemic, I remember asking my dad, "There's an album I want to buy, but I need you to order it for me because I didn't have a credit card or anything like that." Right? He said, "What is it?" I said, "The band is called Cannibal Corpse. The album is called Tomb of the Mutilated." He looked it up. Of course, he saw the art, made the vocal joke, and bought it for me. Now, I did not have the setup or nearly as many albums or CDs or shirts as I do now. So, of course, when it was the day for it to come, I had on my Skeletal Domain shirt, actually. It was, I think it was supposed to be like a tour shirt, but I don't think it was an official tour shirt because I got it from Amazon. Because at that time I didn't know Cannibal Corpse even had a website. But that's beside the point. So I remember, I got it, I opened it, popped the disc in, hit play, turned it up, and I was headbanging. Then I, of course, turned it down because my dad was working. And I remember just being so in awe with the production, the heaviness, the aggression, the brutality, and it became an album that I would go back to over and over again. Hammer Smash Face has literally been on almost all of my end of the year lists on Spotify since I found the song. And I remember every time every relationship I had, I listened to that album. I listened to Hammer Smash Face. I listened to Icon Blood, Addicted to Vaginal Skin, Necropedophile, Intros Ripped from Virgin's Cunt. I've listened to all these songs, and I remember just loving them. This is probably one of the most played albums for me, period. I've listened to this so many times that it's like as soon as I hear Hammer Smash Face or Icon Blood when they're playing it live, it is recognizable. I remember being in my first Cannibal Corpse pit when they played that song and just, whoa! I was scared and I was excited. Even in the video, you can hear me screaming along with hammer smashed face. Dude, dude, dude. Of course, I didn't sound like fucking George, but this is the album that really got me into death metal. That really solidified like everything. Because at the time I was really not into deathcore. It wasn't until Violence Unimagined came out was when I started exploring deathcore a bit more open mindedly. Now I'm not saying that I hate deathcore. I don't really care whether you like or hate deathcore. I'm in the middle where I'm like, I like a few bands, I like a few songs here and there. I've seen a fuck ton of bands. I still listen to it. I mean, I have deathcore albums from this year. I have deathcore albums in my collection, like fucking This Is Exile, The Cleansing. Fuck off if you think that's not real metal. I mean, it's got death metal in it, deathcore. I don't know where people think the death comes from. But anyway, I remember, Whitechapel played, and they were fantastic. And then Cannibal Corpse on, they just fucking shredded. Every time I've seen Cannibal Corpse, they have closed with Hammer Smash Face. There is something special about Tomb of the Mutilated, where I don't think many people will argue that it's a weak album. I don't know many people who say it's not a good album. I know this is a legendary album, and I wanted to say happy birthday to the album that started it all for me. Started my journey into death metal. That started my journey into the mighty force known as the underground. See, I thought Creator was my introduction. Yes, they were, but they weren't. Because this album is what really sold me on the underground. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, shine on.